Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Randy Ruther, if you're listening, I'm going to be late to your birthday party, but I'll be there.
He won't remember.
He won't. Well, I called him yesterday and he was hungover, but he swore he wasn't going out last night.
You know what? I know we've done a lot of intros with Randy lately, but Randy, you're kind of acting like a basic white girl with this birthday party stuff.
Uh-oh. Now there's gonna have to be an apology episode.
I'm not apologizing because I'm just stealing your shtick.
Oh yeah, I know. Trust me. Listen, as far as birthday celebrations go, Friday afternoon Penmar 10 foursome golf scrambles with a belt buckle on the line. It's pretty great. I gotta applaud him. This isn't rosé all day on a boat. It's pretty great. And honestly, right now with what's going on with the Bengals, he needs it.
True.
His football season is we're 3 weeks in. His football season's over. Like, let the guy have a birthday party. And I know there are a lot of people out there who are like, it's a little too early to put. I'm out. I'm out on the Bengals. They're not making the playoffs.
Oh, you don't think they're making the playoffs?
No, I don't
either. I don't either.
And listen, that's not me dissing Randy or taking a shot, but like the chances of making the playoffs at 0-3,
it's 2.5%.
Yeah, are not good. They're not in the AFC South. They're in the AFC North. This isn't like, cobble together 8 wins and win your division. This isn't. And I was listening to, I think, Simmons the other day, who was talking about like, it's too early to like put a nail in their coffin, though. Like 9 wins might make it. You know, they're probably only going to be one team out of the West. And I was like, one team out of, like, you have more. Like, I know I'm some sort of, Harbaugh stan, but like, how are you more in on the 0-3 Bengals than you are the Chargers?
Well, yeah, I agree.
You get to play the fucking Raiders and the Broncos.
To me, it's not even an offensive issue; it's a defensive issue. If you watched, Monday night, I don't know if you saw the stats of that game. It was the first game since sometime in the 40s where there wasn't a punt and a turnover.
Yeah.
So I agree. And you say Bill Simmons not. So you're telling me with 6 division games remaining, for them to get they're going to go 9-5 the rest of the way? A team that won 1 division game last year because Cleveland played their second and third stringers. Listen,
Cleveland's a fucking disaster. So
Cleveland owns Burrow and they own Zach Taylor.
But I'll make you a guarantee right now. Cincinnati goes 2-0 against Cleveland this year. Cleveland is a disaster. The wheels are off in Cleveland, and what the fuck are they going to do with it? And then they lost to the Giants. Deshaun Watson. I mean, I've never seen anything like what's happened to Deshaun Watson. I've never seen it. I've never seen a player fall off so thoroughly. Michael Vick went to jail. But can we talk about Michael Vick? Like, Michael Vick is the narrator on a documentary about black quarterback. Like, why? Like, explain to me the forgiving Michael Vick. Like, I understand. Like, we don't have to hang a dead dog, bloody dead dog, fucking stuffed animal everywhere Michael Vick goes at this point. But like, do we have to elevate him? Like, we didn't put OJ back on the sideline. Like, he did his time in jail.
Well, the argument
he could be on the USC Notre Dame sideline again. He could be in fucking it's insane. Michael Vick's just allowed. Michael Vick's just on the Manning cast. Michael Vick's just the narrator of the black quarterback documentary. Like,
how is that, by the way?
I mean, I couldn't get past it. It's Michael Vick.
It's on Amazon, correct?
Yeah. Did Randall Cunningham behead somebody and I don't know about it? Like, is he unavailable?
Well, look, you and I have talked about, I think there's a few things in play for the Michael Vick. One, he did serve his time. So unlike a lot of these guys, a la Deshaun Watson, all he's had to do is pay out money. And he seems, from all accounts, he seems like a sexual monster is the word I would use for the things he's done to women. So I think there's the difference there, that one served their time, one just paid him out. Now, the Vick thing's interesting. I think he is also fortunate, and we've talked about this, that he did his crimes before, quote unquote, Me Too, cancel culture. Dude, does that make sense? Where all these things became a thing.
So did OJ.
Yeah, but OJ also killed people.
Wasn't convicted of it, right?
Look, I'm by the way, I am not defending what he did to dogs by any means. I just want to make that clear. I'm trying to see from that.
I'm also saying, cool. Michael Vick served his time. We don't have to throw paint on Michael Vick every time he appears in public. But does Michael? We're doing a documentary on the 25 best black quarterbacks of all time. Michael Vick is the only. Warren Moon is unavailable. Doug Williams is unavailable. Is Doug Williams dead? Doug Williams might be dead. Warren Moon is unavailable. Randall Cunningham is unavailable. Donovan McNabb is unavailable. I understand Donovan McNabb fucking choked in every big playoff game he ever played in, but he didn't electrocute dogs. He's the only one available. Russell Wilson's not fucking busy, guys.
I don't remember what exactly. I know obviously Vic was there involved. Was he physically killing the dogs?
He was. I mean, he was running the fucking ring. It was his ring.
Yeah.
Like, was John Gotti murdering people? No. But he had a lot of fucking henchmen murdering people on his behalf.
But again, I think it wasn't just the jail time. I think Vic, in a lot of people's eyes, and I haven't paid enough attention to it, went what people would deem above and beyond, rightly so, what he needed to do after jail.
Cool. So we don't have to shit on Michael Vick everywhere he goes. But it just feels really weird to not have any hesitancy to be like, yeah, Michael Vick and the Manning brothers. Yeah, Michael Vick and the Amazon show. Yeah, Michael Vick's. You know what would be nice? Tony Gonzalez and Michael Vick and fucking like.
Yeah, but
it's like the only guy we've done this for.
Yeah, I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with you. I do find it interesting. We've talked about this, how we pick and choose. I mean, Ray Lewis is a prime example. Ray Lewis goes right on ESPN. He's not there anymore, but he goes right on Monday Night Football. He was a contributor on multiple networks. He has a statue out front. I mean, it, you know, obviously people are complicated, and there's such a broad spectrum of crimes and what we think, and you throw Kobe in that.
Yeah, but again, you know, to me, and I, of course, I think Ray Lewis and Kobe and Ben Roethlisberger and all those, anybody, like anything where the evidence is like fucking there, like, what are we doing? But the not convicted thing, for a lot of people hang on to that. A lot of people just hang on. Jameis 1 of 1, all the Deshaun Watson, even like the not convicted thing is a lot of people. Michael Vick went to jail. Michael Vick like admitted to his crimes. And yeah, maybe that makes him better than them in some way, that like he owned up to it. And I'm not saying like Michael Vick should be in jail for the rest of his life. I'm just saying he's the only black quarterback we could get to do this.
You just think they didn't view it. They weren't thinking correctly when they did that, is basically
I
what
think
you're
that they're
saying.
thinking very correctly, and I just think it's ridiculous. I just think I think Michael Vick's agent is fantastic. He gets him on all kinds of shit. Like, I think that they're very aware that Michael Vick fucking went to jail for killing dogs, and are like, yeah, why not him? I don't know. Why not Cordell Stewart? Oh, I think he might be in the closet. Well, he didn't kill dogs.
And you make totally fair points. There's a plethora
The show is literally about the plethora
of great black quarterbacks that we've had and the evolution. Yeah, and that's a fair point for sure. And I would add to that, which kind of has nothing to do with what you're saying. It's not like Vic is the most compelling as far as an interesting personality either.
No. What's compelling about him? That he murdered dogs? Like that's the compelling part of his personality.
Yeah. How did we get here? How did we jump into Vic?
I don't know.
Somebody came back. We were talking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, who's fucking terrible, and why the Cincinnati. But I've never seen somebody fall off like Deshaun Watson.
Well,
he might be a prime example of a guy, and I think this is a big thing with the NFL. With he's a guy who's like, dude, he's probably borderline like a smart player in the first place, but like basically, unless you're standing over him, making sure he reads his play, like 2 years of not reading fucking playbooks and not watching tape and just like fucking chilling, and it's just like he'll never get it back.
I think it's just all these cases. I think it's all mental. I think he's so guilty, and that weighs on his conscience. And we just talked about it. At least that's my thing. Vic at least owned up to it. He hasn't owned up to anything. He's still battling another civil lawsuit. How is that not? There's 30-something lawsuits. I just thought, how does that not? We've never seen anything like this. How does that not affect your play?
Yeah.
At a certain point, and then we would need actually a psychologist or a sports psychologist to break this down. How does that not even unconsciously affect?
But you go from
mindset?
Being a top 5 quarterback to below like since he started for the Browns, he's worse than he's like the 40th ranked quarterback in football. There's only 32 teams.
He's really bad.
It's horrible.
But that's my point. I just think all this stuff. I know for me,
that's why you gotta applaud Kobe's killer instinct and Ray Lewis's killer instinct.
True.
They fucking murdered people and raped people, and they didn't fucking miss a beat.
But again, Deshaun Watson's list is half a football team long. It's more. Deshaun Watson's list of accusers is more than a 52-man roster, right? And that's all I'm saying. It's there are so many. I know for me personally, just speaking on behalf of myself, if I've always felt better, and I think most people do, once they own up to doing something bad. Now, I don't know to that level. None of us know to that level. Again, 30-something women. But I gotta believe that's what's affected his play.
Now, this is a good segue. It's really unfortunate that the Bengals could not be good this year. That the Bengals are record-wise worse than the Browns, because there is your state. I'm worried about what's going to happen in the election with you guys being, a fucking swing state. Your state is in the midst of a civil war. The Cleveland and Cincinnati are at each other's throats. It'd be really great with, Cleveland having the baseball success if Cincinnati could have the football success while Deshaun Watson is playing terrible, but instead 0-3.
Well, I would like to hear from some Cleveland people about this weird Cincinnati is in Kentucky. And it started with the Guardians beat the Reds to celebrate a division title, and they wore shirts. I mean, it's bizarre. So you're celebrating your division title, which we all know how you feel about that, with the champagne and the big celebration.
No, division titles is okay.
Okay, division
You
titles.
win the division, you celebrate, and then you celebrate when you win the World Series.
So
go to the World Series and then win the World Series.
So they wore these shirts. For anybody who missed it, the players wore shirts that said Cincinnati and Kentucky. By the way, I love these shirts. A lot of players, I'm assuming, could not identify Cincinnati on a map. And that's just the truth. I think a lot of people couldn't identify Cincinnati on a map who grew up here. Like,
to me, this is very telling about the people of Cleveland, because the players were just handed these shirts, right?
Sure.
This guy didn't fucking print this shirt. He doesn't give a like. He couldn't point to Ohio on a map, let alone fucking Cincinnati. So this is very telling about the people of Cleveland, the people who printed these shirts, the Guardian, the people in the Guardians, marketing team, etc. It's giving real, little brother to like I don't know where the Cleveland, Cincinnati, like as far as like the conversation goes, but it's like you just won the division.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you even thinking about Cincinnati?
Well, I agree. And by the way, I would mostly put Cincinnati as someone who was born and raised in Cincinnati, but also didn't live here half my life. I'd probably put Cincinnati and Cleveland at the same level. They're probably very similar population wise. One has 3 professional teams, one has 2. I just don't know. But
can I tell you what my take on Cincinnati versus Cleveland is?
What's that?
I prefer Cincinnati because it's closer to Kentucky. Like Cleveland is in the thick of Ohio. I'm just going to say it. I prefer Kentucky to Ohio, like significantly.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up too. Now, growing up, we used to always make jokes about Kentuckians being rednecks. Ironically, now I started a family with a Kentuckian, right? I'm in Kentucky all the time, but that was as kids. And as I grew up, I was like, wait, I like Kentucky. And obviously it's known for the Derby and horse racing, but
horse racing, bourbon, baseball bats. Ohio's got air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution. Like what are we doing here?
Well, I think we have a little more than that, but that's okay.
Or I should say Cleveland.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand why you're throwing Kentucky as a diss.
Right. Like here's the thing. I'm a New York Giants fan. So a lot of the disses that you hear about the Giants are that you're in New Jersey. And it's like, I get it. Not only is New Jersey far inferior to New York, but where the Giants play, the reason they found cheap land out there is it's a fucking super fun site swamp.
Yeah.
Like the reason that they were able to build a stadium out there in the 70s is because it's a shit dump. So like that is a diss that is like, it hurts. And it is sad that, it's also a testament to how great New York is. New York just doesn't have they just don't have the acreage to be like, sure, put a football stadium there. Like, yeah, football is important, but not as important as fucking commerce, and like there's just not room in New York City for it. So it's New York's greatness that drove it out there, but also listen, they could have gone up to where Yonkers Raceway is back in the day. They could have, there's outer New York things. And then, you get the Santa Clara Niners thing. People get butthurt about that. But like, here's the thing. The Giants play in Jersey. It's not cool. If the Reds played in Kentucky, I don't get the diss. But they don't.
And also, they kept doubling down the next night. And I'll pull this up. The Cleveland Guardians, the social media, the admin wouldn't stop. And again, the team wouldn't stop. I didn't even know this was a thing. They posted, here it is. They posted the Reds broke up a no-hitter with a bunt in, I believe, the 6th or 7th inning. And I don't know if you saw this, but this is the caption. Or, I'm sorry.
I did see it. Yeah.
It says, hold on. Why is it? Hold on. Let me do this.
I'll tell you, listen, when I saw this.
Anyway, the caption reads, I accidentally exited out. The caption reads
Kentucky Reds something.
Yeah. Breaking up a perfect game through 6 on a bunt. Kentucky Reds behavior.
So I saw this and, I'm very tuned to baseball. So my immediate I read it and I was like, did this happen in the minors? And then just quickly went to that background is not a minor league background. Minor leagues aren't playing in September. This is from the Guardians. What the fuck is this? And then I'm reading, and then I'm like, why would you say the Kentucky? I'm literally like, the Kentucky Reds. This is like I say this about politics all the time. I'm oft confused for a Democrat because people are dumb as shit. But they're like, when I post things on the internet that's anti one side, it's you must be a part of the other side. It's like, oh, but you're voting for a communist. And I go, stop telling me Kamala Harris is a communist. You're going to make me vote for her. I'm not voting for a piece of shit corporate Democrat warmonger. Don't fucking sell me on she's a communist unless you want me to end up fucking voting for the bitch. This is the Kentucky Reds. Don't tell me they're the Kentucky Reds. I'm going to like them more.
But again, I as someone from here, I don't really fully understand. Not just that, I don't understand the knock when the two states are literally separated by the Ohio River. So I saw some responses, which I agree with. Somebody wrote, do people say St. Louis is in Illinois?
Do people say Cleveland is fucking Saskatchewan or whatever?
Yeah, somebody put that. Somebody goes, are you guys, it's there's literally a body of water. When you're in the Reds Stadium, you're looking across into Northern Kentucky. It's like for me. So for me, the way the river bends, one of the ways for me to get to downtown is I literally start in Ohio, then I go into Kentucky, and then I cross the river again, the way it winds, and then I end up back in Ohio. It's like, I do think there's clearly, I didn't know this, there's clearly some sort of weird inferiority complex with Cleveland and Cincinnati, which is bizarre because the Guardians have owned the Reds. That's the 10th straight year they beat the Reds in the Ohio series.
Yeah.
They've been better teams. Now, the Bengals more recently have been better in football, but it's like, I don't like, what are we arguing here? You guys have LeBron, you have the Cavs. I don't know. I didn't know about this.
You didn't know about it because it doesn't make sense. They made up that Cincinnati's in Kentucky, and they have a weird inferiority complex too. I guess a city that you would argue this happens with the Mets and the Yankees a lot, where the Yankees fans are constantly thinking about the Mets. The Braves fans are constantly thinking about the Mets. Two teams that are so much more successful than the Mets. I'm not saying Cleveland is that much more successful than Cincinnati, but the Indians certainly have far more recent success than the Reds. Historically, the Yankees and the Braves, why are you guys so concerned with the Mets? I always think, I go, honestly, it makes me think we're more successful than I thought because you guys never stop thinking about us.
Yeah, I don't view, it's funny, I never viewed a rivalry with Cleveland. Maybe it's because I didn't live here a lot, but I'm just like, oh, the Browns, or even like the Guardians. I'm like, yeah, I root for them. Not root for them, but you know what I'm saying? If they're in the playoffs, hey, yeah, for me, I'm just, Oh, they've never won a title since the 40s or whatever. I'd like to see Cleveland get a title. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. And again, the Kentucky diss is now you just
Again,
bringing
stop making me like Cincinnati.
you bringing a whole state into it.
Yeah.
Like I'll say this on record, and I'm sure it's not a big deal. Like I'm announcing it, but we looked at homes in Kentucky. Brittany's family's from Kentucky. Would I ever live in Northern Kentucky? Yeah.
I think honestly, again, when I think Cleveland, I'm like, ew, Rust Belt disaster. That they dropped the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in for some God knows. They must have spent a ton of money to get that there just so that they could fucking have a way to lure people to Cleveland. And when I think of Cincinnati, I'm like, I could be in Kentucky in minutes.
Literally minutes.
Yeah, it's a selling point.
I don't know. It's crazy. But I want to segue this baseball weird rivalry to talk about Oakland playing their final game in Oakland Coliseum for the Athletics. It was yesterday. Sold out crowd. Former pitcher Barry Zito sings the Star Spangled Banner. I know you have a lot to say about this.
I do.
A lot of people are making, obviously a big to-do about this.
It's a big to-do, and I'm really sad. I don't think baseball should leave Oakland, but I'm kind of sick of the fans acting as if they've been there the whole time. Honestly, this showing me clips from the reverse boycott day and showing me clips from their last game there, you're actually hurting your cause, in my opinion. Now you're just telling me if they wanted to, they would. So you guys can get to the stadium. Oh, so you can support the team. Oh, so you could sell out Oakland? Wow. If they wanted to, they would. Obviously, first and foremost, billionaire owners are pieces of shit. Now, second, cities, it's just the way sports is now. I understand that Oakland's owner is a shitbag. That doesn't mean that the only way to not be a shitbag is to be some sort of patron saint of sports teams and build your stadium with money out of your own pocket. No one's doing it. No one. Like, this is just the world we live in today. And I've been critical of this in sports in general. Oh, keep politics out of sports. Every stadium is subsidized by the government and by the taxpayers. I would love it if every single stadium was personally funded. But the idea of calling out the shitbag owner because he didn't do that is ludicrous. It's not the world we live in today. So Oakland not giving them a stadium is just as much, if not more, responsible for this than the owner. But the bottom line is, it's a hard sell when you guys don't show up to games. I'm sick of hearing that you pulled this out of the clutches of this fucking passionate fan base that straight up doesn't go to the ballpark. You don't go to the ballpark. Yes, the ballpark is a dump. Yes, the owner doesn't spend money. But guess what? I'm also kind of sick of hearing about how your owner doesn't spend money. My shitbag old owners did spend money and didn't put a good product on the field. I don't want to go watch expensive baseball. I want to go watch good baseball. Your team has the 9th most wins since 2000. The 9th. You're a good baseball franchise when it comes to putting good teams on the field.
And let me add,
they made a fucking movie about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, before you continue, 9th most wins, you said. I didn't know that stat. 11 playoff appearances since 2000. So basically half the years.
Our stadium's a dump. Good. I get it. That's why you should go. That's why you should get a new stadium. But guess what? It's an easier sell to get a new stadium when you're showing the city that you're going to the games.
Yeah.
Since in their last playoff appearance pre-COVID, so they made the playoffs in 2020. We're obviously not counting a COVID season as far as attendance go. Pre-COVID, 2019 is your last playoff appearance pre-COVID. You're a playoff team. You're 24th in attendance. You're not going to games. The Mets this year, the Mets currently are a playoff team, but they have not, they're certainly not locked into the playoffs. The Mets are 17th in attendance this year, and it is a scandal in New York. There are think pieces being written every day about how shitty Mets fans aren't going to the ballpark. And guess what? The last one that came out, the next series was sold out. Mets fans are like, you're not going to call us shitty. 17th, and they're being dragged over the coals. You're 24th. Now, our stadium's a dump. I'm a Mets fan. This is going to be a hard sell for me. Shea Stadium was a fucking cesspool. It was a cesspool that sat in the middle of Queens chop shops. In 2006, the last time the Mets made the playoffs in Citi Field, they were 5th in Major League Baseball in attendance. They went to the NLCS, 5th, going to a shit dump stadium in a bunch of chop shops at the end of the 7 line in fucking outer Queens.
Wait, so that was the last time
they made the playoffs
in Shea.
In Shea. The same year that the Mets made the NLCS in 2006 in their shit dump stadium, the A's made the ALCS in their shit dump stadium and were 26th in attendance. You don't go to games. You don't go to games.
Yeah, it really is interesting. It is shitty all the way around, and the owner, from all accounts, does sound like a piece of shit.
Piece of shit owner. City dropped the ball. But guess what? This idea that you guys are this fucking amazing fan base is a out and out lie. It's a lie. You're a very consistently successful baseball team, and you guys don't show up. You want a new stadium? Show up to your shit stadium. It's an easy sell for the Wilpons to build Citi Field in 2009, when in 2006 they're selling the 5th most tickets in baseball.
Yeah, I agree. There has been a huge lack of discussion about Oakland's overall success as an organization the last 25 years, basically, with zero support. I get it. It is
far more success than the Raiders, far more success than the Warriors over 20 years. Obviously, the Warriors very short in the.
Well, I mean, the Warriors were winning titles. Oakland,
yeah, but guess what? And I tweeted this again today, and I've said it on the show before. Oakland fans, you're just Taylor Swift complaining about your 60th narcissist boyfriend. The Raiders left, the Warriors left. At some point, you got to take a look in the mirror and say, "Is it fucking me?"
Yeah. It's you know what's interesting too is that right here in Cincinnati, they're kind of they're in lease negotiations, right? So I believe the Bengals lease ends at the end of next year. And I'm bringing this up because it kind of goes to your point. A lot of people said, oh, the Bengals are going to have more leverage on the stadium lease because they've been good. Now, obviously, they're not good this year so far. But it goes to your point. People go, oh, the stadium's been, it's an NFL stadium, but it's packed. There's fanfare. That, like you're saying, that gives more leverage. And I agree. Because normally it does bring people out when your team's good. But it never brought out the A's fans. It never brought them out.
By the way, the Oakland Coliseum is disgusting.
Yeah. I've never been. I heard it was awful.
It's awful. But this idea that, like, you can't, if you're going to be a good baseball team, come support the good baseball team. It's an easy sell. Then it's an easy sell. And also for you whining A's fans, this complaint about the 12th hour fucking offer by Oakland to give them the stadium. No, that's not how it works. I did it with Jacob deGrom, and I'm going to do it with Pete Alonso. any Mets fan, if Pete Alonso gets a huge free agency offer and leaves this offseason, you don't get to say he never wanted to be here. That's being a piece of shit fan. The Mets have had 5 years to lock up Pete Alonso. 5 years where no one else could negotiate with him. If he leaves, it's because you didn't lock him in. This, we offered you a stadium after you got a stadium offered by Vegas, is a horseshit excuse. How about the stadium at Jack London Square? Approve it, pay for it, build it before Vegas has one football team or one hockey team or one basketball team. There was no sports in Vegas when you could have gotten a stadium deal done, and you didn't. And now they've shown that there's success in Vegas, and now they can move it there. This is everybody's fault. But I'm sick of the fans pretending that they are holier than thou, sitting at home, not going to baseball games, and then acting like this has been ripped away from them. Oh, you can sell out the last game you ever there. If they wanted to, they would.
Yeah, you're basically saying, and I think, and I haven't followed it as closely as you, it seems. Basically, blame can go all the way around, and the fans they're not exempt from.
No, they're not exempt from it. And I'm sick of hearing it. Baseball should be in Oakland. That's why I'm mad. I'm mad for the same reason the fans are mad. And I know A's fans who are good A's fans, but you don't get to not go and complain about it. It's just that simple. You don't get to not go. I'm sitting here in Los Angeles, in fucking Oxnard, basically, hearing people bitch about the 17th in attendance Mets not showing up to games and going, am I flying to the East Coast to go to a fucking series right now? Meanwhile, I go when they go to San Diego. I go when they go to LA. I go when they go to San Francisco. I go when they go, like, I go see them. I went in Anaheim. Like, I go see the Mets when they come to the West Coast now. I also went to multiple games this year in New York, but I'm like, God damn, I feel bad. They're calling me out, and I don't even fucking live there. And you fans who don't go to the Oakland Coliseum don't then get to be pissed when the team leaves. It's just that fucking simple. Oakland, the owner, and the fans are all responsible for this. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying the fans are equally responsible, but I'm just sick of hearing about how you're this devoted fan base and they're ripping the team from your hands after 55 years.
Yeah. It would be interesting to look at the attendance, but as far as like every year, but it seems just even from visuals, guys, this has been a joke for 25 years. I mean, I remember those Oakland, those 2000s teams, early 2000s with Jason Giambi and that crew, like, Johnny Damon, that, like, those guys. Those were good squads, man. Nobody went to those games.
In 2006, they made the ALCS and were 26th in the league in attendance in a football stadium that for baseball holds 47,000 people.
So I wonder if I was an Oakland fan, what the argument the whole time is what? The stadium's a piece of shit.
And our owner doesn't spend money.
But if the team's good, who cares?
I could not agree. I want to watch good baseball, not expensive baseball.
But sports in general, like you could, like, I get, me, I'm so critical of the owners, but it's no different. So let me put an example. And I didn't go to any games because we all know my whole thing right now and whatever with the owner, but the Reds were a surprisingly interesting team last year, right? With De La Cruz and McLean, all these young guys and the young pitchers, Hunter Green. Anyway, I know the attendance got a bit. Look at their attendance last year. Like nobody expected them to make a playoff push. But my point was that was the most attendance I believe that they had in like 10 years for that very reason. But they didn't spend, right? Do you see my point? Like, they were interesting.
I understand being pissed at your owner for not spending. The reverse that though is like you're putting competitive baseball teams on the field. Now you could say he didn't spend enough to win it all, but the Dodgers have spent a ton and their only win it all is fucking 2020. The Mickey Mouse fucking like teams just don't win championships.
Yeah.
Like you are a competitive baseball team. You're the 9th most successful baseball team in this millennium. You can't say they don't care enough to put a good team on the field.
Sure.
I wish my team cared that little. Oh, you're a Mets fan. The Mets spend money poorly. I would rather watch guys who are not going to be here in 5 years make the playoffs every year than guys who are going to be here for 10 years sucking money from our franchise while we finish 4th.
The Oakland A's thing is also interesting because every other pro team is left.
This is what I'm saying.
Not just the baseball team, the football team and the basketball team.
And somebody replied to me today and they said,
now they did support the basketball team. Let's be honest.
Did they?
Yeah.
They supported them. They supported them when they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a reply I got. Very distinct situations. Raiders have relocated 4 times in our lifetimes. Okay, fine. It's not exactly a normal ownership. Warriors maximize their profit and potential, so it makes sense to secure the bag.
What's that mean?
I replied, Warriors maximize their profit. Surely you don't think the A's maximizing their profit is continuing to stay in a town where their attendance typically ranks in the bottom 4th of the league, whether they're contending or not.
Wait, so he was saying the Warriors went for the bag by going to San Francisco?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is what the A's are doing.
Yeah.
New stadium brings revenue. Facts. To the point where look at how teams with new stadiums typically are very quick to contend. Very quick to contend. The Cleveland Indians sucked forever. Then they built Jacobs Field and they were in the World Series. The Texas Rangers just got a new stadium after getting a new stadium 20 years ago. Year 1? They won the World Series there. New stadiums inject life into baseball teams specifically because the Oakland Raiders are going to sell out in the Coliseum no matter what. But no one wants to go to the fucking Coliseum. Yes. If Oakland as a city wanted the Oakland A's to get an injection of money and an injection of success, they would have built them a stadium 10 years ago.
It is amazing they couldn't come to some sort of amicable agreement. The city, the fans, the owners. It's very rare that it goes down this path.
A path where they have to play in Sacramento for like 3 years minimum.
I don't remember this ever in my life. They're going to a AAA stadium. Again, every other team has left too. Like you don't see this. You don't see a town lose all their pro teams within 5 years. Now, I don't know the political situation going on there.
The situation is that John Fisher owns all of the teams, and he's a terrible... Oh, no, wait. Sorry. No, you guys... The family that owns the Raiders is in the Hall of Fame. And the family that owns the Warriors is like looked at as the greatest ownership in the NBA. Huh. Okay. Interesting. So good owners leave Oakland too? At some point, you need to look in the mirror.
It definitely seems to be an Oakland problem.
It's an ownership problem. It's an Oakland problem. and it's a fan problem. And I'm sick of it not being pointed at the other. It's all being pointed at the owner. Oakland might be the most responsible, in my opinion.
Well,
but the fans certainly aren't innocent, and I'm kind of sick of hearing about it. And listen, I feel for dude. If it happened to me, I'd be beside myself. But also, not if people aren't fucking showing up.
Well, Joe, I got something for Oakland fans. It seems like they need to get their mind right. The town, the city, the owner, and the politicians. And they can get their mind right with Magic Mind, this little bottle. This little
Oakland A's colored green bottle.
Yeah, this little Oakland
A's green with the yellow on it.
Like it says, do more, stress less. So there's a lot less stress. You drink some Magic Mind. I am taking this on the daily now. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me just on the right path. And I know you have the Magic Mind as well, guys. It's got nootropics, the matcha, the adaptogens, the vitamins, all the good stuff. All the good stuff that will keep you focused to go support your local baseball team, focused to keep your baseball team in the city that you reside in. Magic Mind is basically a mental performance shot. Just take it in the morning. You can mix it with your coffee. You can drink it just like I do, just raw. You know me, I like to go raw on things. You know what I'm saying? So I have 2 kids. 1 on the way. That's right, guys, because I go raw. Ruther goes raw. Okay. We have a great deal here with our friends at Magic Mind. You have a limited offer you can use now that gets you up to 48% off. It's a great number they put in. Not 40, not 45. 48% off your first subscription or 20% off one-time purchases with code DSSports20. That's DSSports20 at checkout. And you can claim this at www.magicmind.com/dsports. Go to that, magicmind.com/dsports. Put in code DSports20. Get your mind right, A's fans. Get your mind right, dirtballs. Go ahead and do that. Look at all that baseball talk.
Yeah.
Look at all that. But not really baseball talk. What's going on with the playoffs, Joe? Fill me in.
Well, we have a lot that's not settled. Honestly, I don't know if you know about this, but the Mets
doubleheader, right?
Doubleheader was postponed because of the hurricane. Which I don't want to get into all the conspiracy theories and all that. Like I'm not going to get sidetracked by this. Like I'm a Mets fan. I'm prepared for the worst.
What conspiracies? What are you talking about?
They could have moved the game a day earlier. They could have gotten these games in before the hurricane and not then had to play a doubleheader potentially for both teams' playoff lives the day before the playoffs start. So now, let's say you have, the A's are already the Braves are already talking about holding Chris Sale for a potential game doubleheader on Monday so that you can face the Mets and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, there's a ton of conspiracy about why the Braves may or may not have wanted to get this game in. I don't give a shit. I'm not like, I'm a Mets fan. I've been down this road too many times. I'm going to focus on winning the games this series versus the Brewers. You deal with Monday when Monday comes, but that has potential of being a do or die situation for both teams unless the Diamondbacks shit the bed this weekend. They play the Padres. The Padres lost last night, so the Padres don't have a chance to clinch or don't have a chance to win the NL West anymore. So are they going to play for it? Are they not? The Brewers are already in and have already won the Central. So what do they have to play for? Are they going to take it easy on the Mets? So many things happening, especially in the NL. But there's a lot of, playoff life or or playoff potential left in a bunch of teams. And honestly, my prediction for who is going to go deep in the playoffs, it's like, I actually think some of these teams that may or may not make the playoffs have great potential of doing stuff. I just think this is last year's playoffs being so wild and having two teams no one thought would be there. I think this year is almost more poised for that. So first things first, which teams get in?
Yeah. Well, that that weather's up here big time too. It's crazy. We've had rain since nonstop since last night. I know it's affecting everything with those games. And there's what, 4 games left? 3 games left?
3 or 4, depending on. I mean, the Mets have 5. You know, they have their playoff series. They have their last series, and then they have a doubleheader on Monday. Most teams 3, some teams 4, some teams 5.
I keep forgetting that there's an extra team in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think I misspoke a couple episodes ago, but it's essentially every team. And now every division winner now gets a game against the wild card team. So 6 teams.
And that starts next week.
That starts Tuesday.
Wow. Look at that, man. Right around the corner. Well, we do have some non-NFL, non-baseball. We got a little. I've been following this one. Dude, the disaster of the NIL thing. Have you followed this UNLV quarterback thing?
No.
You haven't followed this?
No.
Bro, this is the future. This right here is it's not good. Let me play it. We have a call and then we'll talk about it. I've been following this. This is what's happening right now with NIL working its way into competitive football and basketball. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yo, boys, what is going on at UNLV? I'm sure you guys have all read about the quarterback deciding that he's done. Has not received the payments that the school or their people decided they were going to pay him, and he's done. Just a few hours later, the star running back said, "I'm done." We didn't have this when guys were just getting their bags in parking lots. Why, when there are regulations about NIL, which there really aren't, you can do whatever the hell you want, do we have all these problems? And this is from a person who loves college football. It sucks. Stay dirty, boys.
Okay, so here's the background for anybody.
I love Smith, by the way, but like, again, a person who loves college football. What?
So this quarterback, Matthew Sluka.
Okay.
He was promised, he transferred from Holy Cross to UNLV.
Okay.
He's promised apparently like $100,000.
Okay.
In NIL.
Okay.
They've played 3 games. They're 3-0. They're looking good. It's fun fact. The first time UNLV's ever been ranked in the top 25 ever, which is crazy to think. They've never been ranked in the top 25. So they're playing well. They're 3-0. They got this quarterback who's been playing well. He didn't get paid. He says, "Fuck this. I'm done." Right. Like this doesn't, you don't see
after the 3 games.
Yeah. Because.
So now where is he? What is
he can transfer. If he played a 4th game, he loses this year of eligibility. Right? So he played right up to the rules and he didn't get paid. And he's saying, and him and his, I don't know if it's his agent or his lawyer. To be honest, I don't even know how it works anymore with this stuff with college athletes. The school's saying, we didn't promise him all that much. It's a nightmare because you're not going to see this in pro sports. You see guys hold out. You see guys want to change, but they don't just stop mid-season.
Right.
And obviously he's on a team. The team had high hopes. The team had high aspirations. Again, they were playing well. And it's just a situation where there's no regulation at all. So he just said, "I'm done. I'm quitting. Pay me. You haven't paid me. I'm quitting. Game 4 is tomorrow. If I play in game 4, I usually I lose that eligibility. So now I'm going to transfer. I mean, it's so bizarre. I saw another story. I didn't read it. I saw the headline. The U has a 26-year-old player, I think, tight end, in his 9th year of eligibility. This isn't even a joke. This is Rodney Dangerfield, going back to college. I mean, and here's the thing.
I'll just tell you. Let me just give you my eyes gloss over, and my brain starts to think about other things when we start to talk about college sports. It's so broken. I so don't care. It's such a fucking joke. I am embarrassed for people who care. I'm embarrassed for people who care.
Yeah, and I like you. Like, I don't really care. The truth is, the headline.
It's easy to not care. I'm embarrassed for people who do care.
But again, it goes back to what we kind of said a month or two ago.
It's like being a fucking a Generals fan or whatever. Like, you're not like these aren't actual games against the Globetrotters. Like, what are you? This isn't real. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I think the point of me even bringing this one up is that everyone is saying, and it's true, they go, this is going to start happening. It's such the Wild West that players are just going to say, you didn't pay me. You told me you were going to pay me. By the way, it's no different than any other job, is it not, Prano? Like, if you had any job and they didn't pay you, and you're not going to keep working, you say, I quit.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You didn't pay me. These are the terms we agreed upon.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the actual details. I think that's to be determined here. Everybody's going to have their own version of what happened, but.
Oh, listen, I didn't get paid to do a show in fucking Yonkers. And I went on a campaign. I was talking to the police. I was talking to fucking the district attorney of fucking New York about this. And guess what? I went on a social media campaign about it. They've now postponed all their shows forever, indefinitely. So I was reaching out to every single person booked and being like, you can't go there. They're not going to pay you. It's a fucking scam. And guess what? The scam job piece of shit, fucking con artist asshole that ran that comedy club is, I mean, he is a blueprint of the person that you'd want working for the NCAA or some NCAA football team. It's a joke. The whole thing is a scam. I'm embarrassed for people who care about it.
I guess the question at this point, when you see a story like this, is why do you keep caring? But is it just that you followed it? I'm talking about just people in general. Like, do they've just followed it their whole life and they can't get away from it?
I think there's that. I think there's the social aspect to it. I think college sports are so big in places where there's no pro sports. I think it's gambling. I think it's all these things. It's just like needing something to fucking do. This is me and my boys. We go down to the fucker Scoops Bar every Saturday. We watch the Kentucky football game. Kentucky football has never won a goddamn thing. What are you doing with your life?
But don't you understand the social? Like, that's where I do understand. Like I said, I have no problem going to a college game for just that, the social aspect, not
Sure.
to be there is a difference. Let me put it this way. There is a difference between being a diehard fan and the hope that Kentucky football is going to somehow have the best. There's a difference between that and saying, hey, I just like to go just to get out of the house. There is a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference. But going just to get out of the house in something that is like fixed, essentially, is embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good situation. And I think that is the reason you just got to tune it out, or people like us. You know, it's funny that you even use Kentucky. Because just recently I was out with Brittany's extended family. And I mean, for lack of a better term, my brother-in-law, right? We're not married, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said to me, we were at some big family event in Kentucky. And he said, "What are you doing later today?" He said, "You want to go watch the Kentucky football game with me?" And I looked at him. I said, and like people don't even know how to take it. I said, "No." He goes, "Why not?" I go, "Dude, I don't care about college football, let alone Kentucky." He went to Kentucky, right? He's like, "Well, what do you?" And I just said to him, I said, "Look, man, I have the Sunday ticket. You're more than welcome to come over tomorrow. We can watch. I can put all the games on my screens. We can watch every NFL game." I said, "We can hang out because you probably want to hang out." He's got 2 young kids too. I said, "You want to hang out? We got Papa Shot. We can video games on, but we can do whatever in my basement." I was like, "But I'm not." And it was funny because he didn't know how to react. I don't think he knew how to react. I was like, "I'm not coming over to watch 3 hours of Kentucky football. Just don't care." It like this at this point.
Listen, I get it. He's asking you to come over, have a fucking near beer,
For
and
sure.
eat some edibles, and hang
No,
out. I
no, you're
get
right.
it. But here's the difference between, we were just talking about supporting, the Oakland fans not supporting. It's like you've had a generally good baseball team, and if you don't want them to leave, you should support. The flip side of that coin is when you support something vehemently, it's not going to change. College football is broken and has been broken for an extreme. I mean, the idea that we're just getting our 12 team, they should have done the 12 team playoff thing 20 years ago. In the 20 years since they should have instituted the 12 team playoff system, college football has gone to absolute, complete, and utter scripted bullshit that 6 teams a year have a chance to win. Well, the regular season won't matter. I have news for you. The regular season doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's a scam. It's all a lie.
Well, at this point, this would be my analogy. I live with somebody who watches all the Housewives,
Yeah.
I don't see a big difference between Dancing with the Stars, which has been on my TV all week, and college football.
Yeah. It's exactly the same thing. And chicks who get together to watch Dancing with the Stars are dudes who get together to watch a Kentucky game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. This has nothing to do with anything. It's just the most broken system, and they keep breaking it, and then they pull out Band-Aids. Like they took the NIL deal and they blew a hole in somebody's chest. And then they took the Band-Aid that you put on a finger, and it's the 12 team playoff, and they put it on the hole in your chest.
Yeah. I know, it's a mess. It's a total mess. Congrats on the point last night, by the way.
Thanks.
Unbelievable. Half a point. Guy hasn't missed a 50-yard field goal all year. I said, "Oh, I'm watching the game. I'm going to actually cover this." I'm sure you're upset about the L the team took.
I'm halvesies on that, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the team has been playing
Better.
has been showing signs of life. Daniel Jones has looked competent for 2 games now. Malik Neighbors is legit. Wan'Dale Robinson is also pretty legit. The defense is, has hints of, being good. But I remain, and people just don't want to hear this because so many people, honestly, I guess, just have not had actual success their teams. But I'd rather be terrible than lose in the playoffs. in the first round of the playoffs. If you're not going to win a playoff game, I don't even want to go.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, it just doesn't benefit us. So like there's like a weird, with how bad I think the NFC East is. Like, again, the Cowboys proved nothing to me last night. I think that it's the most paper tiger division that we maybe have. The Eagles don't impress me. The Cowboys don't impress me. Washington doesn't impress me, but at the same time, people are like at least excited about it. Like maybe you have a quarterback, it's one game, tap the brakes, but like maybe you have a quarter. Like, I'll tell you what, I'd much rather be the Commanders long-term than the other three teams, because they have a quarterback who's young, who's controllable, who's cheap, and they can figure it out from there, as opposed to the Cowboys and the Eagles, who've wildly overpaid, and the Giants, who've overpaid significantly, even though that's off the book soon. But like, you're leaving yourself in this transitional period. Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Is this the coach? Is it not the coach? So yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence. There was this feeling of like, well, if we're 2-2 after this and the Eagles are only, right here, like you're a borderline a playoff team, but like, I just don't believe in this team enough in terms of like having a run in them whatsoever. And if that's the case, it's like, I just want to lose. That's the NFL, it's not baseball where you sneak in and you get hot.
How'd you think Daniel Jones played last night?
Pretty good. I mean, he obviously has like a long ball deficiency. I don't really know what that's about, because he used to be pretty good at throwing the long ball, statistically. And now he just like, it feels like he just throws deep balls. He's just afraid. It's just like, he's afraid to throw the deep ball. So that, you see that a lot. You see that a lot from the Jared Goffs and the Jalen Hurtses and the whatever. It's like, it's a ball that's 8 yards past your guy. And you're like, oh, if I'm going to miss long. It's not going to be intercepted. And it feels like Daniel Jones definitely has that. I mean, the one thing I'll give the Giants credit for, and this is what I was really critical of Dable on to start the year, is you can scheme guys open. And if you're a good coach, you're a good offensive coach, then you do. I don't think, everybody's on the thing of Tua this and is Tua good, and everybody's on the Daniel Jones is bad thing. And it's like, we're seeing now, like, yes, Skylar Thompson doesn't belong in the NFL, but like, Mike McDaniel schemes guys open for Tua. Tua's not good. They just scheme guys open for him. And, the Giants have done that better the last couple of weeks. They also have a receiver who's, becoming a pretty dominant force, where it's like Daniel Jones is less afraid to throw him the ball because he's so good.
I mean, look, overall, I thought he played pretty decent last night. Now, obviously, he can't get in the end zone, but there's that stat. He hasn't had a completion or a touchdown at home in I don't know how many games, which is not the best stat, but they were right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's two weeks in a row, where like last week they played really, they got in the end zone a couple times, but even last week the game was close because they're not able to put, like, they're just not a good enough football team to where like they're doing the ball control and they're dominating time of possession and they're not winning the games. And 2 out of the 3 weeks, the Cleveland game, obviously they win, but like then the week before you score 3 times, but you can't stop them from kicking enough field goals to win. It's like, they're just mediocre. And if you're going to be mediocre, just be bad.
Yeah, no, I know. I get it. You want to go through some picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So it looks like we're tied heading into this week. When actually you're up 1 now, technically. All right. Saints Falcons, we'll start there. By the way, not that I'm in a hurry, but God, this fucking storm, man. I just keep getting messages.
Yeah.
It's about to hit pretty bad. I just got something wild from my neighbor about rats. It literally says, in the next few hours, Cincinnati area is going to be getting slammed with heavy amounts of rain over a very short period of time. The rain is going to stress and flood the storm system runoffs, sending the inhabited Norway rat colonies scrambling for high ground and safety. They will seek out any high and dry pipes they can find. Some of those pipes may lead directly into your home. What the fuck? It is important that you leave the lid of your lower level or basement toilets in the closed position and place something heavy like detergent bottles or a case of water on top of it.
Wow.
And the only reason I wouldn't stress, my neighbor who runs a pest control company sent this to me.
Right.
Anyway. Here we go, guys.
Is it like raining there right now?
It's been raining here since last night.
Okay.
This is supposed to come in hard.
Yeah.
And it's literally been raining for I don't know how many hours. But anyway, let's get through these picks. All right. Saints, Falcons in Atlanta. Falcons are 2.5-point favorites. Huge division game. Huge early division game. 2-1 versus 1-2. I'll let you go first since I made the first pick on the Cowboys Giants game.
It's in Atlanta. I think that it feels like the Saints, it feels like this division's going to be a clusterfuck. I'm going to take the Falcons to win and cover.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Saints look so good out the gate, 2-0.
I know. And I like the Saints, and I want to root for the Saints. But I'm not going to let my heart sway my head.
And that would have been a huge win had they started 3-0. I'm going to agree with you for that very reason. I think it's going to be just a back and forth division between those two teams and the Bucs. All right. Rams, Bears. This one's in Chicago. Chicago is a 3-point favorite.
Where it's in Chicago?
It's in Chicago. I'm going to take the Rams.
The Bears are a 3-point favorite?
Yeah.
I don't. What is with the I'm going to take the Rams as well. I don't really understand the Rams spreads on a week-to-week basis, but
I don't either.
Bears haven't beaten anybody. Bears are one of the worst fucking offensive lines in football. Caleb Williams has been not good.
No, he hasn't.
I'm assuming Matthew Stafford has had some fantastic games in Chicago.
I mean, look, the Rams are banged up. They're without their two top receivers. They also won last week against San Francisco.
Yeah.
We talk about it. Coaching matters. It matters. You have Sean McVay. You have Eberflus. You have Matthew Stafford versus a rookie quarterback.
The only thing that makes me question it is just like, how the fuck is it possible?
I mean, in Chicago, I don't know. Are they getting will the hurricane weather be up that way?
That helps or hurts a quarterback who doesn't seem to have NFL skills yet.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're both going to go with the Rams on this. All right, Vikings, Packers. This one's in Lambeau. Packers have now won 2 in a row with backups.
Yeah. Jordan Love is still not playing, right?
I don't think so. Packers are 3-point favorites. Do the Vikings start 4-0?
I don't think they do. It's tough that it's 3. If it was like 1 or 2, I'd be on it. Am I up first?
You're up first.
Man, you know what? I know Vikings fans hate me weirdly, even though I saved their franchise. I'm going to take the Packers.
I am too. Especially now that Brett Favre has announced that he has Parkinson's. By the way, what a weird move. You're speaking about stealing, is it millions of dollars?
Of welfare money.
Of welfare money. Being involved in that. And he pivots to I have Parkinson's. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm sure he does.
As far as excuses for stealing welfare goes, having Parkinson's, pretty shaky.
Did you have that one ready to go? Did you have that one ready to go? Yeah, that was queued up. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. To just like pivot to that. And by the way, of course he's got Parkinson's. Do you know how many times that guy? How many concussions do you think Brett Favre had?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, Brett. Parkinson's doesn't make you steal money from welfare recipients of your home state. But I'm sure people will defend it. He paid it back. He paid it back. Why would he? Yeah. Okay. By the way, I don't know if he did. I should probably know more about this. Even if he did, why did he do it in the first place?
Amazon has already announced that he will be the narrator for the documentary about, Southern quarterbacks.
I'll be drooling. I'll be doing the Favre shimmy, shimmy, shake all over that one. Okay. We're both going to take the Packers. I almost want to change my pick.
I know. It's another one where it seems crazy that they're 3-point favorites with Malik Willis, but I'm riding with my boy last night, and this didn't sway me. I'd already made my pick in my head, but Ryan Fitzpatrick said last night on the show, my boy Ryan Fitzpatrick said, this is the week that Sam Darnold turns back into a pumpkin. And I said, in Lambeau. I was like, I could see that.
All right, then let's just both keep our picks then.
Well, I'm not telling you what to do. You do whatever the fuck you want.
I'm going to keep my pick. All right, Steelers, Colts, another team. Are the Steelers going to start 4-0? Steelers are 2.5-point favorites.
Andy, your feelings on the Packers Minnesota line is like a Brett Favre dick pic if he takes one today. Very unfocused. It's very blurry.
I forgot about his dick pic. Okay.
Imagine him pointing at trying to take a dick pic right now. He's just like,
Steelers, Colts. It's in Indianapolis. Pittsburgh's 2.5-point favorites. I'm up first. God, their D is playing great. I mean, they're not giving up any points. I think they've given up the fewest amount of points in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a quarterback. They're going against a quarterback who's young. I might regret it. I'm riding with the Steelers to start 4-0. I can't believe it, and cover.
I'm also. I mean, I think Justin Fields. I'm not by any means a Justin Fields fan, but playing inside can't hurt.
Yeah, it's true.
Playing inside can't hurt his skill set.
I didn't even think about that. That's a huge help. Wow. It'll be interesting to see if they start 4-0.
Okay, we made all the same picks so far?
No, we've had. Yeah, we have actually. Okay, we might have a different one here. Broncos, Jets. We talked about it earlier. It's in East Rutherford. Jets are 7.5-point favorites. Coming off a big layoff. You're up.
I'm gonna take the Broncos. Too big a spread in a game that might have weather.
We're gonna have the same fucking picks. Yeah, that for sure to me is a Broncos pick. That 0.5-point hook is huge.
And listen, I think the Jets defense, your typical Jets defense, is I would say the last few years, I'd be like, ooh, rookie quarterback. Well, but like, it's just too big a spread.
Yeah. I agree. Way too big a spread. All right, maybe we have a different pick here. I'm up first. The 0-3 Bengals travel to Charlotte for Andy Dalton revenge game with the Carolina Panthers. Bengals are 4.5-point favorites. I'll probably regret this. I'm taking the Panthers.
All right, I'm gonna pick up a game here by playing off of your heart, which your heart doesn't want to support your Bengals. So I'm gonna pick up a game by taking your Bengals to just get it right against a bad team.
Yeah, get it right against a bad team. But again, my concern would be the defense.
Again, also weather. I'm assuming a lot of these games could have weather, right?
True. Yeah, like I know up here, and obviously we're nowhere near. Like it's supposed to all weekend.
Yeah,
it's supposed to rain here and have severe winds. So I assume in Charlotte, then it's supposed to be pretty bad. I got to bring up the Zach Taylor coaching tree thing. Did you see that?
No. How does Zach Taylor even have a coaching tree?
Oh, bro, it's so funny. It's like not his coaching tree, but it is. You got to see this thing. This thing went viral. It had like millions of views. Look, this is pretty funny. These are the only 0-3 teams in the NFL. Bengals head coach Zach Taylor, Jags offensive coordinator, which is his brother, Press Taylor. By the way, they've never coached together, I don't think, but it's funny. Again, it's just kind of funny. And the Titans head coach, Brian Callahan, who also calls the plays, remember, the former offensive coordinator, are 0-3. So every 0-3 team is connected to Zach Taylor.
So Zach Taylor's parents named the one kid Zach without a K and the other kid Press. I'm putting all this. It turns out every team in the NFL that has won 0 games is because Zach Taylor's parents are fucking assholes.
Well, his real name's Sherwood.
Who? Press?
It's his middle name, Press. Sherwood Press.
That's
Taylor.
better? His real name Sherwood. Oh, well, forget I mentioned it then. His real name is Aloysius. His Press is just a nickname.
I about died when I saw that. I said to Zach Taylor, the tree.
I just need to clarify one thing. His name is Zach without a K because it's not short for Zachary. It's for Zacharias. So that's why he spelled that. Oh, well, in that case.
The Bengals offense played good. Stop bringing it up. The Bengals offense played good against Washington. They couldn't stop. Dude, Jaden Daniels looked amazing.
I know.
On Monday Night Football, he played as great as you could play. Tough road game. Here's my thing to delusional Bengals fans, aka you, Justin Wood. I don't know if he's delusional. Like, if you can't stop this guy, and by the way, I'm not saying I think Jaden Daniels could be fine. I don't know what he's going to be. He's only played 3 games. I don't know. How are you going to stop the Steelers and the Ravens? I mean, you were talking about making the playoffs earlier. I mean, to win 10 games, they have to go. I would say you got to go 10-7 to make the playoffs. Don't we agree?
Yeah.
I don't think 9-8 is going to cover it. So you're saying they got to go 10-4 the rest of the way?
Yeah.
10-4? Nope.
Playoffs? What
Right,
a football game.
Let's talk about Press Taylor's coach team. The Jags are 0-3. They're traveling to Houston, where the Texans are 6-point favorites. And we got to talk about this. The Trevor Lawrence thing. I know we did, but we got to talk about it again. That interception that he threw to DeMar Hamlin. Guys, I don't know what the solution is. It Bill Belichick? Who can fix what's going on in Jacksonville?
Well, one thing's for sure. Not Doug Peterson.
No, it's not Doug Peterson. Six-point
Trevor
favorites.
Lawrence is the next buy low, sell high fucking like I'm not a Trevor Lawrence fan by any means, but I feel like he's getting significantly Doug Peterson here. He's certainly not a generational quarterback.
Not right now.
Not ever.
6 points. What do you think? Texans are favored at home.
I got burned by the Jags last week, but like
So did I.
do we just ride them not getting it right until they like I don't know what I guess I'm gonna go with the Texans. I'm tempted to get it right. I'm tempted to
I'm
like
going with the Jags.
Okay, good.
Even though they keep burning me. I'm not saying they win. I'm saying it's a division game.
Yeah. No, it's why I was thinking about it. It's like, oh, it's inside, it's a division game, it's close. But then honestly, the Texans losing last week is why I'm back on it.
Yeah, and they got absolutely destroyed too.
A little D.
All right, Commanders Cardinals. This one's in Arizona. Arizona's 3.5-point favorites. Does Jaden Daniels and did they come back down to earth? I'm up first. That 0.5-point hook. I'm gonna go Commanders.
I think they do come back down to earth. I'll go Cardinals.
Their defense is absolutely terrible. Commanders.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But offensively, they're scheming Daniels to just, a lot of checkdowns. Now, he had some great deep balls in the Bengals game.
Yeah. He can run.
He can run. All right, Patriots Niners. This one's in Santa Clara. Wow. Niners are 10-point favorites. A lot of injuries on the Niners side.
A lot of injuries on the Niners side. The Patriots just aren't good. And honestly, I know they've played some games close, but oh God, 10's a lot. 7.5. 7.5 would be fucking easy peasy. Man. I'm gonna go with a lot of injuries. Even in the games even when you lose to the Rams, they scored some points. Pats can't score points. I'll take the Niners to win and cover.
Pats just can't score.
Jacoby Brissett.
That's my thing. I think their defense will play well. They've played well for the most part.
But you can lose 21-10.
Exactly. I'm gonna go Niners as well. All right, Browns Raiders. This one's in Las Vegas. The Raiders are 1.5-point favorites. We already have a quarterback controversy in Oakland.
Why? Did somebody step in?
No, they were debating benching Minshew already.
For who? Aiden fucking whatever?
Connor Aiden, was that his name?
No, that's not his name. Connor Aiden.
Just out here making up names. I'm up first. I'm gonna say Raiders win and cover.
Same.
Jesus, I mean, you were spewing how much the Browns suck. It's tough to go against that. Okay, Chiefs Chargers. This one's in LA. It'll be mostly Chiefs fans. Chiefs are 7-point favorites. Got a hobble Justin Herbert. I don't even know if he's playing. Is he playing?
I don't know. I mean, the 7 makes me think no or hobbled. Justin Herbert status reveal.
Limited in practice. Which, I mean, this kind of depends on that pick.
I'm going to take, you can go first, but I'm going to take the Chargers cover no matter what.
I would take the Chargers for sure if Justin Herbert's playing. I'll stay. I'll keep him. I'll stay with the Chargers. So we're both going Chargers.
Feels like the Chiefs are just going to. I'm like 99.9% positive the Chiefs win this game. It's literally just a cover question.
Yeah. Well, they haven't blown anybody out yet.
That's
Chiefs
what I'm saying.
haven't.
Yeah.
Great Sunday night football game. Looking forward to this one. Bills Ravens. Your very, very, very early MVP favorite, Josh Allen. Baltimore's 2.5-point favorites. Do the Bills start 4-0?
Games in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Hate to toot my own horn.
They look great, by the way. They look great.
I got back on the Bills this season. I loved the moving on from Diggs. I loved the get younger at the skill position. I love sort of the embracing of Josh Allen, just like, fucking do whatever you want. I'm on the Bills winning and covering. I'm on the Bills being, I'm on the Bills, been off the Bills for a couple of years. I'm back on them. Been off the Ravens for a couple of years. Seems like they're giving me the justification for that. I'm on the Bills to win and cover.
God, the Bills look so good. Just the last couple of weeks, really, they have. But I think they take an L. Ravens win and cover.
Money line pick of the week for Ruther.
Well, the Ravens are dogs. I'm sorry, the Ravens are they're not. They're 2.5-point favorites. Okay, we got another doubleheader.
Money line pick of the week for me. I thought it was Bills 2.5-point favorite. Let's go. Money line pick of the week.
Yeah, it's
I don't
Ravens.
know how my money line of those weeks are doing so far. I don't think it's great, but
all right, we got another doubleheader. The second game should.
But why?
Yeah, that was the contract ESPN signed with them, or Disney signed with them. That's why. More games. All right, Titans, Dolphins. No one cares about this one. This one's in Miami. Miami's a 1-point favorite.
I do not believe in Skylar Thompson, but
I'm up first.
Okay.
I mean, am I going to take them again? I'm going to take Miami again. Or I'm going to take the Titans. God. Either way, I'm going to take Miami. I cannot believe I'm doing this. I'm taking Miami. If they're 1-point favorites, I'm basically saying
I do not believe in Skylar Thompson, but I do not believe in the Titans even more. So I'm also taking Miami.
All right. In your final game, Seahawks, Lions. This should be a good one. Seahawks are undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Lions are 3.5-point favorites.
Mm-hmm. It's in Seattle?
It's in Detroit.
Oh, the half point.
The half point is huge here.
I'll take the Lions. The half point's killing me. Really, it's almost got me taking. I think the Lions win this game because it's a home game. I don't think the Seahawks start 4-0. But I think it's going to be a good football game.
Oh, did you see Dan Campbell moved his house because he got doxxed?
Yeah.
Does he not realize anybody can find out where anybody lives?
No, he does not realize that.
Like, I couldn't stop laughing. Like I've looked at Zach Taylor's house. I know he lives like less than 10 minutes from me. I'm like, oh, I want to see what his house looks like. Literally put it into Google. I know where Zach Taylor lives.
You can't put it on the Snapchat. You can't put it on the Snapchat.
So he sold his house? And I get it is scary. I don't know if you followed the story. People showed up the night of the Niners NFC Championship, and that would be scary for a teenage girl. I'm not saying that's not scary, but like, dude, you sold your house? They're going to be able to find out your new house, where you live. You can find out where anybody lives. Google, man. It's this thing that
Shohei Ohtani, by the way, the same thing. I don't know if you know that. He bought a house in LA and he might not even move into it because the Japanese press found out where it was.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Exactly. Same thing. I got to make my pick though. So you're taking Lions.
I am. I really the half point almost has me on Seattle, but I'm going to stick with the Lions since I think they win the game.
I do. Same. I think Lions win and cover. Not too many different picks this week. That's okay. All right. That's week 4 picks. Moving right along. I think that's it. I should probably get this wrapped up. I got to pick up my girl. I mean,
I got to hop in the car and hightail it down to Justin Wood's golf birthday party.
Yeah.
So follow me all on social media at Joe Prano everywhere, at Fix for Life on Twitter. October 12th, charity show, Boys and Girls Club of Lake Tahoe at McDuff's Pub in South Lake Tahoe. And then the following week, I'll be at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club in Las Vegas for the whole week, October 14th through 20th. Oh, and this Sunday, I'll be at the Comedy Store on Eddie Ifton Friends. So if you're in LA, come check that out.
Cool. All right, guys, you know where to follow us. Subscribe on Substack. Andy Ruther, All Things Social. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, especially with this weather. See you guys on Monday. And as always, stay dirty.